Well, the wait is over. This is Nintendo DS.
"3D Play" on Nintendo 3DS is on the way.
Hello everyone, George from Gaming Unearthed back again, here to talk about the top 5 Nintendo DS and 3DS games to play before the Nintendo Switch. So, how this is going to work, I'm going to start off with my top 5 Nintendo DS games to play, and then it's going to be my top 5 Nintendo 3DS games to play. It'll be divided into those two categories, and without further ado, we better get started on number 5 of the DS. This was the first game in the Mario and Luigi saga I played, and now I've played all of them. I can say that this one is my favourite. I don't know if it's just a nostalgia thing, but Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story was just so good at the time. I was used to, the traditional platformer Mario or Mario Kart. I'd gone into Mario Party, but, I'd never played a game, where I had to solve puzzles with Mario, go through this world and, try and think about how I saved Peach, and, even playing as Bowser was amazing. I just loved it, so, I'd say definitely play this before the Switch comes out. It's just an experience we may not see on the Switch. So let's move on to number 4. No Gaming Unearthed top 5 is complete without a Mario Kart game, and this is considered one of the best. Mario Kart DS was so good at the time. It was the second Mario Kart game I played. Before that I'd played Double Dash, which is my favourite. But this is definitely up there, probably my 3rd or 4th favourite. It was amazing. I loved playing it. Some of my favourite courses were Waluigi Pinball, Tick-Tock Clock, Rainbow Road. I loved being able to play some of my favourite double dash courses on the DS anywhere I wanted. So we may not even see this on the Switch because we do have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But this is definitely one to play before it comes out, just because of simply how good this game is. In my opinion, Kirby is underrated. Kirby Canvas Curse was probably the best Kirby game on the DS. I loved Kirby, since I was a kid really, when I first played Kirby's Air Ride on the GameCube. But this game was just a lot of fun. It's especially underrated as well. I'm amazed at how underrated this game is. I loved it. A lot of people I know who played it loved it. It was such a cool idea. I thought it was really interesting and unique. You'd never really seen anything like it. But as much as I love it, there's not too much to say about this game. So let's move on to a game franchise we all know. Some of the biggest debates in the gaming world are really huge questions. What's better, the Xbox One or the PS4? Who's going to get 4K first? Who's doing this and who's doing that? But one of the biggest questions is, which Pokemon game is the best? In my opinion, the best on the DS was Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These games were amazing, in my opinion. I'm not too big into Pokemon. I'm more into the older games, like the Game Boy Advance and this technically as well. Sort of began to branch off from Pokemon. I don't really play it that much anymore. I played Moon, but this was really good for its time. The story, once again, excellent. this original Pokemon JRPG. I wish they did do something different with Pokemon, but it's still really cool, really interesting, and it deserved the number 2 spot. But I think most of us do know what's going to be on my number 1 spot. But before we get to there, let's look at some honorable mentions. New Super Mario Bros. On the DS was the first time we had a 2D Mario game since Super Mario World, and it was so good at the time. You know, before that, the limits of the 16-bit Super Nintendo hardware, and you know, we could only have like a few worlds, a few power-ups. Now, you know, Mario was inside a Koopa shell. He was running around in all these different themed levels, you know, all these pretty much original bosses for the time. Just made this game so unique, so cool, and so interesting that, you know, we'd never seen anything like it since the Super Nintendo. It was unparalleled, really, by anything Sony could pull off with the PSP. So that's why it just had to take the number 1 spot, because it was so good. But now, for the second part of this top 10, let's switch things over to the Nintendo 3DS and see what the Nintendo 3DS has in store.
It's so nice.
Personally, and this is just my personal belief, that some of the handheld Zelda variants were okay, but we'd never seen anything like this. The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds just blew me away the first time I saw it. You know, Link could travel on the walls, you know, the two different dungeons, you know, the light and the dark, and you know, what's going on there. It was such a step up from, in my opinion, from Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, which they're good games, but they're nowhere near as good as this. You know, there was so much of interest in there. You know, it was so good. I loved it. Thank you, Nintendo, for finally giving us a good 3D handheld Zelda. But of course now we're getting a much better handheld Zelda, because we can play it at home or anywhere on the Switch. But let's move on to number 4. When I first heard they were bringing Smash Bros to the 3DS, I thought it was a joke. I was like, no, it would only be on a home console. But then I actually looked it up and found that it's coming to the Wii U and the 3DS. I was so excited. I played this game for hours on my 3DS. You know, playing Smash Run and, you know, going online and playing, using hotspots and playing alone. You know, just building up. You know, trying out the different characters. I main Bowser, but it was so cool that I could play Smash Bros wherever I wanted now. And I really hope they do the same thing. I really hope they port it over to the Switch, because that would be amazing. Personally, the Wii U version's better, but it was still amazing that I could play Super Smash Bros anywhere I wanted. So let's move on to number 3. For the 3 Pokemon games that are on the 3DS, we have X and Y, we have Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and we also have Sun and Moon. Which one's my favourite? Well, Sun and Moon came close, but X and Y, in my opinion, is the best. Which is why it's the best-selling 3DS game, as of right now. But X and Y they were good games. I feel like they could have been better. I don't really like to say bad stuff about games on my top 5, but yeah, I feel like it could have been done a little bit better. As I said, Pokemon is it's not as good as it was in my opinion, but I still really enjoyed playing X and Y. I played X, but it was still really cool to play through it, and it had a pretty interesting story, and you know, the new Pokemon, you know, the rest of that. It was fun, but yeah, there's not really too much to say about it. It's Pokemon. Everyone should know what Pokemon is. Number 2 is going to be a really controversial pick, and some people aren't going to like it, but I put it on number 2 anyway because I like it. So let's see what it is. I've had to make a note to myself. I'm going to be ripped apart in the comments for saying this. Metroid Prime Federation Force. It is not the Metroid Prime game that we wanted, but that doesn't mean it's not good, because it is a good game. You know, I'll be fair, I was a hater when I first heard of it. I wanted Metroid Prime 4, but you know what? I picked it up, I played it, and it was a lot of fun. You know, had all these cool missions. You could play with friends. It was so cool, so unique, and you know, I don't understand why people hate it, because if you can't say you hate something if you haven't played it. You know, just like you can't say a certain Mario game's bad if you haven't played it. But you know, you can't say this game's bad if you haven't played it. It's so good. You really need to, I can't really convey the feeling of playing this game by just saying it. You'd have to pick it up and play it yourself. I can understand why people don't like it, but you know, still, it's a spin-off. It's a good spin-off. I like spin-offs. But let's move on to my number 1 spot, so I can stop getting hate comments. Super Mario 3D Land is, to be honest, I think it tops every other game on this list by quite a long way. The 3DS is my least favourite Nintendo handheld, not because I don't like it, because it just, the software lineup for me, it wasn't as good as, you know, the DS or the, you know, the Game Boy Advance, but still, Super Mario 3D Land sort of elevates it to that level, and you know, we finally got the return of the Tanuki suit. You know, it was this idea of linear Mario in a 3D, you know, in like a 3D environment, which you know, I like it, but of course we were looking for something open world. Super Mario Odyssey. Of course, now we have you know, we have stuff like the Boomerang Flower, and you know, obviously the return of the Tanuki suit. You know, they've upgraded so many, you know, power-ups. We have new enemies. We have, you know, we have new everything basically. We have new art styles, and it was such a good game when I first played it, and I loved it. So that's why it's at the number 1 spot on my list, because I loved it so much when I first played it. It really made the 3DS what it is to me. So yeah, Super Mario 3D Land. If you haven't played it, make sure you play through it before the Nintendo Switch comes out, because it's a good game. So, do you agree with my list? Because obviously you're not going to agree with number 2 on the 3DS. I accept that. But, you know, okay. Please like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, and I'll see you next time. We have a video very similar to this coming up. So I hope to see you then. And George out. See you next time.